Good afternoon. On this gloomy 29th day of August 2013, Kenyans wake up to the death of 41 people in a road accident involving a city-to-city bus on its way to Homa Bay from Nairobi. My name is Bonny Tunya. You're on the news desk. Welcome to the program. At least 41 people have been confirmed dead following a grisly road accident along the highway. Traffic Commander Samuel Kimaru says 33 others are in critical condition and are receiving treatment at the Narok and Kijabe hospitals. Now, police say the 2 a.m. accident occurred when the driver of the bus, which was on its way to Homa Bay from Nairobi, lost control of the vehicle before it veered off the road and plunged into the valley. Now, the accident happened in Ntulele area, that is 15 kilometers from Narok town.
These are the remains of what used to be a city-to-city bus. The mangled wreck, with its roof completely detached from it and sits flattened, shows the magnitude of the tragic incident that saw at least 41 people perish on the spot. The highest death toll this year.
Ni bus ambayo ilikuwa natoka Nairobi ikienda kule Homa Bay. Na ilipofika hapa, dereva alipoteza mwelekeo na ikawa ni mteremko. Na hii bus imeroll, imekonga mawe, imekonga miti, na kari imeisha na watu wamefariki.
Eyewitnesses say by the time they arrived at the scene, all they could see were bodies piled on top of each other, some severely disengaged. Personal effects and luggages were scattered all over.
Sasa tukarudi mbio kuokoa watu. Tangu saa 6:30 hiyo mpaka saa hii saa 1 tulikuwa tunafanya kazi ya kuokoa watu.
Several people were trapped inside the wreckage. Survivors could be heard from beneath calling for help and screaming. Those injured were rushed to the nearest hospitals by Good Samaritans, Red Cross officials and the police. Hospital staff at the Narok District Hospital were overwhelmed as victims of the crash were brought in. Others are expected to be transferred to the Kenyatta National Hospital for specialized treatment. Reports indicate that the driver of the bus stopped vehicles along the road calling for help soon after the accident, but no one knows his whereabouts. Traffic Commandant Samuel Kimaru says the driver may have fallen asleep on the wheel since he did not attempt to brake or negotiate a corner and instead crashed into the guardrails.
Angalia, gari ilikuwa na mwendo wa kasi na ilikuwa usiku. Sasa hakuona hiyo pen ilikuwa hapo mbele. So kakapita na ile nguvu yote alikuwa anakucha naye, kakapita kakakonga hii reli. Imagine wamewekewa hata chuma ngumu kama hii na akakonga akavunja hiyo yote na kuingia huko kwa misitu. Na hii ni kama sasa kijiji mzima imeisha, kama hii gari ilikuwa naenda kwa kijiji fulani huko Homa Bay, nafikiri ni kubaya.
The bus has since been towed from the scene. Najma Ismail, KTN.
President Uhuru Kenyatta has vowed to take action over the Ntulele bus crash along the Nairobi-Narok highway that has claimed the lives of 41 people, with 33 hospitalized with serious injuries. Speaking in Mombasa, President Kenyatta says vehicle owners must now take responsibility for the condition of the public service vehicles they hand over to drivers.
Twaendelea kupoteza wananchi wengi sana kupitia ajali za barabara. Na hii ni jambo ambalo sisi kama Wakenya lazima tuifikirie. Wenye magari, wenye wanaingia magari, traffic police, viongozi wote, kwa sababu mambo haya sana sana yatokana kwa sababu ya simple lack of road discipline. Ya kwamba kila mtu akiingia kwa barabara hana haja ya kufuata sheria, haja yake ni haraka ya kufika, aweke pesa kwa mfuko. Mimi nawaomba Wakenya na niwahakikishie Wakenya ya kwamba tutachukua hatua sasa ya kwamba sio tu dereva wa gari, hata mwenye gari sasa ataanza kubeba mzigo wa kuhakikisha ya kwamba gari lake linatii sheria za barabara. If you are an owner of a vehicle, you are responsible for the driver who you have given that vehicle. It is not for you to send that fellow and tell him just bring me back so much money without caring about the lives of the people in that vehicle. We must all begin taking responsibility and to protect the lives of Kenyans on our roads.
KTN's Wilkester Nyabo is at the Narok District Hospital and joins me now by way of phone. Good afternoon, Wilkester. What can you describe happening right now at the hospital?
Good afternoon, Bonny Tunya. Now, what is happening at the hospital is simply that medical practitioners are simply rushing around trying to ensure that they do give the necessary medical assistance to the victims of the crash. Now, we do know that while the crash claimed 41 this according to Kenya Red Cross figures, we do know that over 30 others were rushed to the Narok District Hospital, and medical practitioners here were overwhelmed by the numbers. 10 victims of the crash were evacuated, taken to other hospitals. We do know that some of them were taken to the Kijabe Mission Hospital, others went to Naivasha, and we are also aware that one victim has been taken to the Kenyatta National Hospital. They were taken there earlier in the day. There were ambulances that were here parked outside the hospital waiting until they were stabilized, and as soon as one patient was stabilized, the patient was taken to the Kenyatta National Hospital. Now, 2 other ambulances will be arriving this afternoon, and they will be taking 2 other patients who are in critical condition to the Kenyatta National Hospital, where they will get the medical assistance. Now, we are also receiving news of yet another accident just kilometers away from the first accident, and this we are hearing that the accident occurred near the Ewasumiro Bomet Road junction. We are told that it involved 3 vehicles and that these 3 vehicles were involved in a collision. We have been told that 6 people have been injured and 1 person has been confirmed dead. We are getting more information on this as it occurs, but what we are really seeing is that we have seen 2 accidents occurring just kilometers away from each other along this same area.
Wilkester, you've given us a few of the numbers of the people who've been transferred to different hospitals, but in regard to the numbers of those confirmed, we understand there were 4 children who've died in this particular accident. Do we have any more details of those who've succumbed to this?
We have not been able to get proper details and particulars, in part because the police and other officials at the scene are simply working at this point in time to ascertain who was in the vehicle, because we do know that it was a 62-seater car, but the police are yet to reconcile the numbers. There may have been more than 62 people, but the police are still reconciling the numbers, and we are getting that information in the course of the day, just as soon as the police have found how many people were in the vehicle, how many people have been injured, and generally the whereabouts of individuals such as the driver, who police have said they're going to try and confirm whether he is among the injured or what may have happened, because we did receive reports earlier in the day that he is the one who is supposed to have flagged down vehicles after the accident and called for help. However, this has not yet been confirmed.
Wilkester, earlier on we got reports from caregivers that they were overwhelmed with the situation at the Narok District Hospital. From where you are right now, what is the biggest need right now in regard to this crisis?
Generally, we have not been able to ascertain exactly what they need, because we do know that at this point ambulances are standing by to move the injured to hospitals that can give them further care, and then at this point they will be able to tell us what this particular hospital needs. But at this point, the primary need is simply to move the most critically injured to other hospitals that can give them the care that they so urgently require.
Wilkester, have you seen family members come to probably check for their loved ones, and what is the situation like?
It is right here at the Narok District Hospital. It is the visiting hour, and we are seeing just lots of local residents and people coming in. They do want to find out more about the accident. We cannot tell who is a family member and who is not, and who generally, many who heard about the accident just wanted to come and find out the details, because they think a person they might not have known was traveling may have been traveling. But this will be a little difficult, because right now the medical practitioners are focusing on stabilizing those who are critically injured before they can begin to give out further information. And this is really what is happening. Members of the public have been restricted. Certain sections of the hospital, medical practitioners just working on the patients. That is their primary focus at this point in time.
All right, well, Krista Nyambo, many thanks for that particular update and regarding that particular accident. We will be coming back to you, and of course Rita Tinina will also be joining us from the site of the accident later on with more details regarding this early morning accident that has claimed the life of 41, with 31 currently undergoing treatment at various hospitals in the country. Right, we stay with matters off the road, and a driver and his turnboy escaped death narrowly when the trailer they were driving in plunged into River Chania, that is near Nyeri town. The driver of the 14-seater trailer was approaching a bridge along the Nyeri-Kingongo highway when he lost control and plunged into the river. A witness said 3 trailers were speeding, seemingly trying to outdo each other, when the driver lost control and veered off the road as it was slippery following an early morning drizzle. Now, onlookers who had a loud bang jammed the scene as the traffic controlled the motorists. Residents now want clear signs and road guardrails put along the road. The driver and the turnboy were rushed to a local hospital for a medical checkup.
Inakaa kama ni funfair kwa sababu zilikuwa zinafukuzana trela 3. Sasa bili zilikuwa mbele, hii ndio ilikuwa nyuma. Sasa wakati ilifika hapa pale kwa ile fig tree, ndio sasa ikaanza kuyuba, ikapoteza control. Sasa ikakuja ikaingia kwa mto.
Hii blade inakuwa gabaya sana. Kwa hivyo tungetaka tutengenezewe kiasi.
The Ntulele accident is our developing story, and we'll be breaking it to you as and when we get. Of course, as promised, we'll be getting Rita Tinina and Will Kistanyabo at the site of the accident with more details regarding this recent case. Away from the matters of the accident, and the Director of Public Prosecution wants City Lawyer Kathy Kilonzo charged. The DPP indicated his office intends to charge Kathy Kilonzo and others over the alleged loss of registration slip from the IBC. Nonetheless, the DPP has not disclosed what the charges against Kathy Kilonzo would be. It has, however, agreed that Kathy would not be arrested over the weekend, but should instead present herself to the investigation officer at the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters in Nairobi next week for a pre-trial procedure. Kathy, who has not pleaded to the case, is to appear in court on Tuesday to take a plea. The charges against her will also be outlined. We begin our county road trip in Malindi, where the body of a pastor has been found in a hotel room covered in blood. According to the hotel manager, Willie Nzaro, the pastor from a Pentecostal Evangelism Fellowship of Africa booked a room on Monday evening. For 3 days, the pastor had locked himself in his room and had not stepped outside. When staff of the motel finally forced the door open, they found the middle-aged man lying in a pool of blood. The police suspect he had died Monday evening. Now, he rarely minces his words in his prophecies. Over the last 10 years, the country has seen his rise with a claim of healing and his message of restoration spreading like wildfire. Prophet David Owor of the Ministry of Repentance and Holiness sits down with KTN's James Smart to answer questions on money, his healing powers, on tonight's KTN Prime.
The issues of healing, yes. And more specifically, HIV and AIDS.
When the Lord finally compelled me to begin to conduct healing services for him, it was so powerful to see the Lord come all the way from heaven and touch his people and heal them. The only difference being that this time around, the kind of healing service the Lord was engaging me on was also on his own merit, in his own way.
Now, the scheduled distribution of 60,000 title deeds in Mombasa now will go on with the blessings of elected coast politicians 2 days after threatening to derail it. The leaders made the dramatic about turn this morning after several meetings between them and the president, his deputy and land secretary Charity Ngilu. President Kenyatta reiterated that the issuance of the title deeds has nothing to do with politics and reassured the leaders, all elected on a court ticket, that the process was above board. All 6 governors present declared their unwavering support for the initiative.
Title deeds kwa store ati iwe inagojea wakati wa siasa ati ndio igawe 2-2-3-3 ati ndio useme mimi nitasuluhisha mkinichagua tena. That is not the way to do it. The issue is those titles are supposed to be with the people who are entitled to them.
Ukiangalia mrengo wa kodi ndio ulikusanya kura nyingi sana hapa, lakini katika masala kama haya nataka nikwambie rais, hakuna code, hakuna Jubilee, kuna viongozi ambao wanataka kutatua shida. Na kama vile ulitoa hakikisho jana kwamba wewe huangalii sura, rangi, chama, ile kiu yako ambayo unayo kwa pwani hii ni kuhakikisha kwamba mpwani amepata cheti chake, amekupigia kura, hakupigia kura, yeye yaliisha tarehe 4 mwezi wa 3. Kwa sasa wewe ni rais wetu wa Kenya mzima, si kwa wale ambao peke yake wamekupatia kura. Na hilo hakikisho hilo, Mheshimiwa Rais, nataka nikwambie kwamba sisi kama viongozi wa pwani tumelipokea kwa mikono miwili, na safari hii hutatembea peke yako, utatembea na viongozi wote wa mkoa huu wa pwani.
Na tena hatutakuwa tukitarajia uchaguzi iwe swala la ardhi litakuweko. Uchaguzi mwingine tunataka swala iwe title deeds hizi. Sasa tunataka tujue vile tutasaidia wananchi waweze kujisaidia na hizi titles. Tuwe tunaongea juu ya mambo ya agriculture, tuwe tunaongea juu ya vile tutafanya mambo ya irrigation, tuwe tunajua vile tutaongea vile watajimpa wajenge mahoteli na mambo mengine kama haya ambaye itaweza kuwasaidia wananchi, lakini sio kuwa tunatupiana mawe na maneno juu ya swala ambaye haisaidii mtu yeyote.
A 2-year project aimed at reducing maternal mortality and complications caused by unsafe abortion cases has been launched by the Embassy of Netherlands in partnership with the IPAS Africa in Western Kenya. The project comes at the backdrop of increased cases of teenage pregnancies being reported countrywide. During the tour of the project, Netherlands Ambassador to Kenya, Joost Reinhast, said the government of Netherlands will spend 30 million euros to support various projects in the country. The ambassador also held talks with Bungoma Governor Ken Lusaka.
Providing security to Somalia through AMISOM. There's a lot of tourism. There's so many fields of cooperation that we cooperate in.
We need a healthy county. We need healthy people to be able to implement all the other things that we are talking about. Because if we are going to have problems with the health of the people, then we cannot even achieve what we want in agriculture. We cannot achieve in all the other sectors. So it's important.
Right, we shift gears and jump into the afternoon business chat, and today I'm joined by a very unusual guest. Now, have you ever seen an agricultural-based organization win a competition on tech? Well, that is the feat that Juhudi Kilimo achieved, and I'm joined by Gilbert Mbani, Chief Information Officer at Juhudi Kilimo. Gilbert, what exactly do you do at Juhudi Kilimo?
Thank you very much. Juhudi Kilimo is a microfinance institution with a social mission to provide asset financing for smallholder farmers in deep rural Kenya. And what happens is that we need to be able to elevate poverty and be able to improve on the food security, therefore meeting the Vision 2030 agenda.
Gilbert, when you talk about rural Kenya, what exactly, how different are farmers in rural Kenya from everywhere else?
You will realize one thing, that Kenya has the rural area where there are towns where we have about 20-kilometer circumference, and then you have about 100 to 200 kilometers deep into Kenya. So that area is really not accessible to financing, and that's the area we target. So we look at farmers that have 1 or even less, 1 or 2 acres, and they are really in abject poverty. Those are the farmers we target.
Gilbert, part of the things you've mentioned you're doing at Juhudi Kilimo is smallholder farming, which in essence is rural asset finance, something like enabling farmers to buy a single cow and something like that. What are the risk factors involved in this kind of venture?
What happens is that a lot of financial institutions, both the banks and the microfinance institutions, really shy away because most of the times they don't have security, they don't have collateral, and that becomes a little bit tricky business. Then you have the issue of the diseases and all the challenges around agriculture. So therefore you realize very, very few institutions would want to venture in this kind of business.
Right, Gilbert, part of the Jubilee government's mandate in regards to agriculture was the disbursement of 2 billion shillings for agribusiness and irrigation, basically. Irrigation hasn't been really embraced, especially in rural Kenya where there's subsistence farming. How do you ensure there's a link between such kind of resources, what you do, and the farmer on the ground?
Yeah, Juhudi Kilimo works with other partners on the ground, and basically we leverage on our strength in terms of asset financing and also the use of technology to be able to work with partners, government departments and other NGOs on the ground to be able to address this agenda. What we do is on the ground we have officers that are able to scan the ground and be able to bring all the partners on the table, and then we offer training to these farmers and be able to leverage on also those aspects of irrigation, ensuring water is available for the cattle and for the crop, and be able to ensure that we elevate poverty and take these farmers to the next level.
Right, Gilbert, part of the reasons why the Kenyan farmer hasn't been so successful in accessing credit has been the fact that there's no information coming from farmers and potential borrowers from financial institutions. As part of what you do, I realized was management system, and probably this is what won you the award. Kindly talk us through what exactly that entails, and how do you intend to change the farming situation for smallholder farmers in the country?
Thank you. You realize one thing, a lot of the larger population of the smallholder farmers do farming not as a business, but in terms of just peasant farming or subsistence farming, just to feed themselves. So therefore, what Juhudi is doing is trying to help them, train them, and do awareness that you can still, for example, rear a dairy cow and still have your 4 liters of milk for the family and have an additional 10 to 14 to sell to the market. So we are doing a lot of awareness. We are offering this support in terms of asset financing, and we are able to reach out to those areas that have not been reached out. Secondly, we have also removed the barriers of things like having collateral and having anything that we have to hold on before we finance. What we do is we offer, for example, the dairy cow, and this dairy cow is actually financed by Juhudi, and that cow in itself, when the farmer gets it, becomes the asset. And then in 3 months' time, probably we've given that farmer a grace period. They're able to start repaying immediately. The cow starts generating between 14 to 20 liters. So you realize, but in essence, that farmer, we moved that farmer from being a poor farmer, not just feeding themselves, but having about 10 liters to take to the market to sell. And this, in essence, actually has worked for us.
Final question, Gilbert. How do you encourage young people to venture into agriculture and farming in this country?
In Judy Kilimo, and part of the reason why we have this session is that we did win an award for technology innovation. And as you can see, from Africa, we were the only nation nominated globally. And this is the reason why, because we are using technology, using tablets, and we're giving young tablets, the Y generation, which is the bigger workforce today, and they are able to use it to still remain connected even while they are the villages. Young generation, we require to re-engineer how we deal with the young generation. We need to bring technology on board. We need to let them know that food security is a big concern, and we need to bring them on board to be able to help the nation outgrow this problem.
All right, Gilbert Mbani, Chief Information Officer, Juhudi Kilimo, many thanks for coming on the news desk and sharing your thoughts and views about expanding the space of agribusiness in the country. I'll give you an update of the road carnage that happened in the early morning of today. And one of the earliest respondents was the traffic commandant, Samuel Kimaru, who is now standing by with our reporter Rita Tinina at the Narok District Hospital.
Yes, indeed, Bonnie, we are now joined by the traffic commandant, Samuel Kimaru, and as you correctly put it there, the police were the first on the scene this morning. Thank you, sir, for joining us. How have the police managed to handle the situation since morning?
Yeah, the police have handled this situation well. They were the first people to arrive at the scene. Officers from Tulele and other stations within this place. And we have been able to manage this emergency well.
From your early investigations, what could have caused the accident?
Yeah, from our early investigation, we are seeing that this accident could have been caused by an error made by the driver or attributed to the driver. Either the driver was unable to negotiate that corner. It is really showing some speeding. The driver could have been speeding, and at the same time, he was unable to negotiate that pen. So that is why the vehicle went down to the valley. And in the valley, there was some stones, huge stones, and also trees. And the terrain also, it was so bad, it was rough terrain. So the vehicle went rolling down the valley, and as a result, we lost a total of 40 people. But on the spot, the 35 were lost, and then others lost their lives as they undergo treatment.
Have you established the whereabouts of the driver? Is he among the dead, or is he in hospital?
No. Now that is something which is annoying me, that we are unable to ascertain whether the driver is among the dead or is among the casualties. And something annoying more is that the management of this company called City to City company, bus company, they are not there to assist us to identify the driver and also get to know what happened. So they have gone underground. Since last night up to now, we have not been able to reach out to the owners of this company, and we are pursuing them. I'm sure we are going to get them. We know they have gone underground, they have gone to hide themselves somewhere, but we are going to get them. I've taken measures which will make them to come out of the hideout. Have you had issues with this bus company before? Yes. Last month on 8th, I got one of their buses speeding along Thika Super Highway. And my driver was driving at around 100 kilometers per hour. And that bus just bypassed us as if it was stopping. And then we chased it up to somewhere, Chucha Road, and then we were unable to get the bus. So the bus was anyway intercepted through other means. It was intercepted at Thika, and we checked. We found that the bus had no speed governor. So they had tampered with the speed governor, and the driver was speeding. So we took the driver to court, was fined 30,000. We inspected the vehicle, and we re-inspected the vehicle, and we issued compliance certificate. But I tend to believe some of their other vehicles are also doing the same. They might have tampered with the speed governors, and they are also speeding. So we are going to address that by checking. We want to inspect all their vehicles. In fact, I have given instructions to our officers countrywide to impound these company buses wherever they find them. So they are being looked into for now by the police, and I know within some hours all of them will be arrested and detained by police.
What has been the rate of accidents along the Mai Mahiu Narok Road?
Yeah, for the last 1 month, it has been relatively quiet. But that was as a result of use of speed camera. We had mounted a speed camera along the route. But some people came opposing the use of a speed camera on that road, especially the tourism sector. They come out strongly, even blocking the road, protesting that way. They don't want the camera is going to delay their movement, is going to interfere with their business. But we were not interfering with their business, we were saving their lives. So we are returning again the camera back to that place. And this time, if you block this road, my friend, you are going to remain behind bars for some time.
All right.
Yes, we are not joking now. This time, we are going to do something.
Thank you so much. Oh, well, we have been speaking to the traffic commandant, Samuel Kimaru, just giving us an update of how the police handled the situation. And of course, you've had the warning from him that speed cameras will be back on the Mai Mahiu Narok Road, and police will not be taking any excuses. He says that before the speed cameras were put on the road, tour operators had challenged the use of speed cameras. Right now, I will bring in the Narok County Director of Health, and that is Gulacha Wako. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rita.
Of course, this hospital, the Narok District Hospital, has handled all the casualties from the accident this morning. How has it been?
Well, it's really been a big test on us. You know, suddenly quite a number of patients. We received 39, as you were told. Quite a number of head injuries and musculoskeletal fractures and soft tissue injuries. So we have transferred quite a number to Kenyatta, about 4 of them. But we lost one, as we earlier told you. We lost 1 patient. Then we have some 4 who are to be transferred to Kenyatta. Unfortunately, we lost 1 again here. So we're waiting for ambulance from Red Cross so that we can take them to Kenyatta Hospital.
What are the general nature of the injuries?
Most of them are fractures of the lower limbs and the upper limbs, so-called musculoskeletal fractures, which we believe we can manage here. And there are 2 ladies. One had a very severe crash on her right arm, which our doctors are really going to amputate that arm. And then there's that other lady that really had a severe blunt object injury to her abdomen. We believe she has really punctured some of her internal organs. Our doctors, our surgeons, led by Dr. Maina, are going in to find out what organ is really needs to be fixed. Those ones we feel we can manage here. And a host of fractures of the lower limbs and the upper limbs, we are able to fix those here. What we are transferring and what we have transferred are patients with head injury. Head injury, where we use the common GCS score, the glaucoma scale, and we feel they are not oriented in time, space, and person. We've liaised with the Kenyatta Hospital to take over such hospital for specialized care, including computerized tomography, CT scans, and other things that they can use there, which we don't have here.
What about the mortuary? What is your capacity in relation to what you've had to take in this morning?
Yeah, thank you, Rita. I think, as I told you, this is quite a really test on our system. Mortuary, our mortuary has 9 capacity. It's a 9 capacity mortuary, 9 body capacity. But now imagine being brought about 40 bodies, 38 at a go. It's really overwhelming. But we want to just to see how we can innovate around that. We are talking to some hospitals like Tenwek, Longisa, and other hospitals around here with mortuary facilities. And meanwhile also we are trying to use other mechanisms of preserving bodies, not only cooling, the use of formalin, formaldehyde. And also we are requesting the people who are bereaved to maybe come to us and identify their bodies so that we can dispose them in dignified manner. So anyway, we will not allow in any way that the bodies rot here. despite our capacity, we'll do all it can to make sure that life is dignified even in death.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We have been speaking to Gulacha Wako, the County Director of Health here in the county of Narok. Of course, we are coming to you live from the Narok District Hospital. We will keep an eye on things for you here in connection with the early morning accident.